value from success, growth in discovery. Golden Arrow Resources is a well-funded gold-copper exploration company with proven management and prospective properties in Chile, Argentina, and Paraguay. Golden Arrow trades on the Toronto Venture Exchange, symbol GRG, on Frankfurt, symbol G6A, and the OTCQB, symbol GARWF. For more information, visit us at goldenarrowresources.com or call Sean at 778-686-0135.
You're listening to HowStreet.com radio, available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. Welcome to HowStreet.com radio, the online source for market opinions. Here is Jim Goddard.
My guest is Chris Vermeulen from the TechnicalTraders.com. Welcome back to the show, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jim.
Chris, what's going on with the markets, and do you have any idea why what's going on to the markets is happening?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, and investors are feeling really good. The last few weeks, they've been feeling good with vaccine news coming out, taking away a lot of long-term kind of worry. We've got, I think, 2 or 3 vaccines that are saying they're 90% plus efficient or effective, and supposedly in 3 weeks, one of them is going to start rolling out already. So that is pretty quick turnaround if that's the case. And of course, when investors are comfortable, they're willing to invest long-term and look beyond the short-term fear of COVID wave 2. And we're seeing that across the board. We're seeing a stock market rally that is broad-based, meaning it's not just technologies and some healthcare, biotechs holding up this entire market. It's actually almost every sector is in rally mode. Money's piling into them. And in some of the hottest sectors like small cap stocks are just on fire. And that's a really good sign for the strength of the overall stock market.
Wasn't the Russell 2000 Sleepyville the last few years? And now all of a sudden it's awake?
Yeah, it has been. Since 2018, it's been very dormant. It's been in a bear market really since then, actually. It had a massive correction in the markets. And, from the highs back in 2018 all the way down to the lows, it fell about 45%. And so now it's making new highs, and this is a great sign. Those small cap stocks, they've been cleansed. Now they're in the hands of strong long-term investors, and now it's making new highs, and that's a really good sign. That means really everyone's piling into these the growth stocks. They're expecting COVID not to be hard on the economy, so a lot of these smaller companies, which need to be more social, need to have people moving through their stores and things like that, business is going to kind of pick up speed. And so people are investing in these little companies now, the smaller, they're not little, but there's the small caps. And that's a good sign. Same with transportation index breaking to new highs. And that means people are expecting more goods to be sold. That means more things need to be shipped. And when those two kind of groups of stocks are leading the way, that's a sign that we're in an early bull market, and we could see some pretty big gains looking forward from here.
Now, this is a pretty long-term point of view, considering everybody's been told to stay home right now.
It is. Right now we're seeing the characteristics of what's moving in the market are actually a good sign. It's for long-term investing. This is telling us that there's big money moving back into these groups of stocks for long-term holdings. That's how I see it. That's what it looks and feels is happening again. But in the short term, and this is the thing, the vaccine's coming out. We've been through wave 1, which was very uncertain. Now, this time around, people are more confident and comfortable with what's going to happen. So that even though we're getting locked up and everything's kind of closing, people are looking beyond that already, which, hopefully people take it seriously because it is a major concern and it's getting worse by the day. But they are looking beyond this in terms of investors investing in the stock market, and they see blue skies ahead.
We'll have more with Chris Vermeulen right after this.
Media recognition from Bloomberg, Reuters, recycling trade publications, patented process for 100% recovery of critical metals, including cobalt, lithium, nickel, manganese, aluminum. American Manganese is focused on recycling lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles. American Manganese trades on the TSX Venture, AMY, the US, AMYZF, and Frankfurt 2AM. For more information, visit AmericanManganeseInc.com or phone me, Larry Ray, at 778-574-4444.
Avon Resources Limited is a gold exploration company with significant projects in British Columbia and the Yukon. Trading on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol ABN, and the OTCQB, symbol ABNAF. Surrounded by world-class gold deposits and mines, Avon's 23,000 hectares Forest Kerr Gold Project is located in the heart of the Golden Triangle in northwestern BC. For more information, visit us at avonresources.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Chris Vermeulen. Chris, does it mean anything in the U.S. with Janet Yellen being appointed the new head of the Treasury?
I think the market is seeing that as a positive thing. I mean, this week we've had three pieces of news that really came out that are propping up the market. Which one is doing all the heavy lifting? I'm not too sure, but we had good vaccine news on Monday. We heard that the administration is getting ready for Biden, so obviously that's actually starting to move forward. So that gives us some peace of mind and some certainty of what's happening. And of course, Yellen coming on board for the Fed, I think that means we're going to see a lot of stimulus. They're going to continue to buy more debt. I think we've seen the debt level for the Fed go from, I think, $4 billion in February, or $4 trillion, sorry, to it's over like 7 or 7.5 trillion already in the same year. Just unbelievable. And I don't think that's going to stop. So, the market's seeing this as a positive thing. We're seeing, money piling into the stock market. I do think this market's a little lofty at this point. I think we need to see some type of pause or pullback, but really only has to pull back for a week or two and really kind of get this overbought condition out of the market, because as a trader or investor, it's tough to buy in at this when the market has rallied so strong during the week of the election, and then we had that first news of the vaccine, and the stock market gaps open huge and hasn't really looked back since then. And it's really tough to buy in when something's had to move that far without any pause or correction. So, shorter term, I'm a little concerned about a pullback, but longer term, all the signs are here that we're back in an equities bull market. Whether the economy is or not, that's a totally different story. But if the Fed's going to be taking on debt, we're going to see this market go higher.
Do you expect a Santa Claus rally this year, or will there be a pullback before Christmas?
I would hope there's a small pullback and then a rally going into the end of the year. That'd be the ideal setup, because I think there's a lot of really strong sectors and stocks out there, but they're just really overpriced in the near term. They've moved very far really quickly, and to jump in here in a lot of positions, they're at risk of just dropping in value very quickly for a quick little correction. So I hope we see a pullback over the next week or two, and then we see the market rally into the year end for that kind of Santa Claus holiday rally.
We'll have more with Chris Vermeulen right after this.
Engineer Gold Mines is focused on the exploration and development of the historic high-grade Engineer Gold Mine situated 32 kilometers southwest of Atlin, British Columbia. Engineer Gold Mines is fully permitted for surface and underground exploration, with the drill program now underway. Engineer Gold Mines Limited trades on the TSX Venture Exchange, symbol EAU. For more information, please visit us at engineergoldmines.com.
Don't miss out. Stay informed. Receive the HowStreet.com weekly recap with thought-provoking podcasts, radio, and articles delivered to your inbox. Sign up for the HowStreet.com weekly recap on our homepage at HowStreet.com.
Welcome back. We're speaking with Chris Vermeulen. Chris, any area that's really caught your attention?
There's actually quite a few really interesting sectors moving, but the big one that has everyone really concerned and in a panic this week is the precious metals sector. We've seen gold have two big down days in a row, and you and I talked about this back in August and September, that the downside target for gold based on technical analysis, is between 1800 and 1810. And so that's where gold could pull back to and still be considered very bullish. And that's where it is today. People are in panic. There's lots of volume, lots of chatter on the web about what's going on. And so it's a really interesting, we're at this really critical pivot point for gold that I'm hoping, because I would like to see gold and the miners move higher from here, but we're at a point here where hopefully everyone is panicking out of the precious metals sector, and this is how bottoms are formed. People panic, they get out of it, and then it turns around. So hopefully we see a reversal this week in that sector, and we see this be some type of washout low and kind of panic in the gold market. But again, there's been so much kind of good news coming out that gives investors long-term certainty that people are kind of dumping the precious metals, the defensive plays, because they're not all that concerned. But to me, we're still in that perfect storm for precious metals to move higher.
What's going on with cryptocurrencies?
Yeah, all the big cryptos, the cryptos have been on fire. Bitcoin is probably going to hit 20,000 tomorrow. Based on the chart, it's got so much momentum right here. We're right back up to those highs. It seems almost like gold investors, they moved to Bitcoin and digital currencies a long time ago. Then they started to get back into gold when it started to come back to life. But right now, Bitcoin is really taking the lead. I know a lot of people who used to trade precious metals trade the currencies now, like Bitcoin, and of course that has got everyone's attention. It's had this massive rally day after day, and 20,000 is going to be a really significant level. I do think there'll be some selling that steps in there. There's a lot of people who bought at 20,000 a few years ago, and when they get back to break even, they're going to want to get out. So that'll create a wave of selling. But Bitcoin is set to hit 2,000 this week, and I wouldn't be surprised if it pierces it and breaks it and goes higher. But it's in parabolic mode. Everyone's piling in and holding their positions at this point.
Anything going on in energy?
Yeah, the energy sector has been on fire. Actually, some of the strongest moving sectors in the last few weeks have been actually the energies. If we were to look at some of the bigger movers, we're looking at OIH or XLE energy sector, oil services. I mean, they're all up like 40-50% or more in just the last couple of weeks. It's just a very powerful move. Oil is breaking to new multi-month highs, testing to break those levels. So this is another sign that people are expecting the world to kind of get back to normal to some extent, where we can travel and not feel like, you're going to catch, the COVID when you're traveling or somewhere. So that means more fuel consumption, lots of flights, traveling, all those things. And crude is definitely moving higher based on that, the future looking a lot brighter. So again, this adds to the whole story that things are coming together for a big bull market to take place and to continue to move higher here.
Chris, so how would you sum up what's going on right now?
To sum it up, I would say, as in terms of a long-term investor, as much as the equities markets and the valuations are still very high, the characteristics, the price action of the stock market, we are still in a bull market here, and there's going to be some hot pockets, some best assets to follow using a band strategy, best asset now, and the small caps are one pocket of stocks to look into. The energy sector stocks, travel stocks, I think a lot of those that have been really beat up are really coming back to life here. And there's going to be a lot of really strong sectors that are going to be leading the way. And so if you spot those leaders, those are the ones you want to try and get in on, because there's going to be lots of room to run over the next several months if this market can hold its ground and COVID doesn't wreak too much havoc from this point forward.
Chris, thank you so much for chatting with us.
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, Jim.
My guest has been Chris Vermeulen from thetechnicaltraders.com. If you have any questions for Chris or any of our other guests, you can send them to info@howstreet.com. Our YouTube channel is Talk Digital Network. Find us on Twitter @HowStreet. We're also on Facebook. I'm Jim Goddard. Thank you for listening.
Comments made on HowStreet.com radio are an expression of opinion only and should not be construed in any matter whatsoever as recommendations to buy or sell any financial instrument at any time. Available online at TalkDigitalNetwork.com. HowStreet.com radio is a production of HowStreet Media Incorporated.